Good morning, students. Welcome to Assam Tele Education and Shubha Bijaya to everyone. So, in our previous classes, we have covered about other parts of narrations in details, right? And today we're going to start another part of it, of narration. So, students try to answer every question carefully. So, and without any further ado, let's continue today's class. So now you see on the screen that English language skills. Yes, narration comes under English language skills only. Now, what do you see, students? What do you see? In a garden, there are few children, and they are what they are speaking about. Let's see. The girl is saying, I'm really looking forward to the class picnic tomorrow. So she's saying that she's excited and really looking forward for the class picnic tomorrow. Okay. And let's see what does the boy say. So the boy says, yes, after a long time we will be meeting our friends and teachers, right? So kindly observe these two conversations. These are what a kind of direct boy that excited, right? She is looking forward to the class picnic tomorrow. So she's saying directly to the boy, and the boy is also directly, right? Direct process. Direct process. So the boy is saying also, yes, after a long time, we'll be and teachers. So he is also saying in a direct way. So, if we convert these two sentences into a indirect form, let's see how the sentence constructions looks like. So, Neha, what you're saying that I am really looking to the class picnic tomorrow, right? And that is Namit says that yes, after a long time, this is a direct speech, what I have just mentioned. So let's see that. Now let us try to change the above dialogues into indirect speech. So that's what I'm saying, that from direct to indirect, we're gonna change the two above direct form. So if we change the direct speeches into an indirect, what we will frame the sentences. Let's see. So the first sentences we and the second we're gonna see in the second. So first Neha told Namit, right? Said to changed into told, right? And we know that in narration when indirect speech comes that we need a reporting word, right? So this is that. It's a conjunction kind of thing. So that comes here. So she said that Neha told Namit that she was really looking forward to the class picnic the following day, right? Next day changes into following day. Then what are the changes? Let's highlight this. Next day change into following day, right? Is, right? Is changes to was because it was past form, right? So and the told, said is past, right? If instead of said it was written say, then it would not change. The verb will remain constant and it would be remain in the present tense only. But when it was said, then said is already in the past form. So when it's converted into an indirect form, what will happen? The is will change, the present will change into a past form, right? So the past form of is was, right? And we all know that a reporting word, that is that will conjunct together, right? That will join in a sentence. So I hope this part is clear. Now see the next sentence. Namit agreed, right? Namit, the sentence was he said yes, right? So we are not going to start the frame like yes. We're gonna start from Namit's end, right? How he will reply, right? So the boy's name was Namit. So he said that, like, how he will answer this. Namit agreed that, right? He already said yes. So we can say agreed, right? So we are using this word agreed. So Namit agreed that after a long time they would be meeting their friends and teachers, right? That is a future tense, so would be is added here, right? We all know that any sentences in the future we use would, should, right? So I hope this part is clear. Now these two sentences comes under indirect speech, right? Okay, so you have also seen here that here also that is that, see, in the second sentence also, that, see, that, that is, that was what, it's included, right? So that is mandatory in case of indirect speech, or else how we gonna make sense to a sentence, right? Okay, let's move to our next. Okay, so now we all know these are the examples of narrations, right? So narration. So I hope this chapter name is clear to you now. Narration. Okay. Now see, this is another scenario where the girl is saying that, can I borrow your maths book for a couple of days? She's questioning to the boy that if she can borrow his maths book, right, for a couple of days. Okay, let's see what boy says. Yes, certainly. I have already studied for the test tomorrow. So he has replied in a what way? In a direct speech, right? So how you will differentiate a direct or indirect speech? If the sentence start with, right, just in a direct way, it's direct, okay, direct speech. And if sentences start and then that is included in there, in between two sentences, that is in between, okay, situated, then that is a indirect speech. I have just previously shown you, right? So now see, this is an example of direct speech where they are having a conversation in a direct manner, right? Okay, now see indirect speech. So what will be the indirect speech of that sentences? So the first sentence in a indirect speech, what will be the speech will be, Ritika asked Mohit, right? When a question mark is added, we will not say said to or says, we will or told, okay, said to, told, we will not going to use those. We will use asks, because question mark, if any sentences you see question mark, then the sentence will start with asks, right? In a sentence the middle verb will be asked, okay. Okay, so Ritika asked, because it is past form, right? So Ritika asked Mohit if she could borrow his maths book for a couple of days. Now question mark symbol is removed, because we have what, we have transferred into a indirect speech. So now it's indirect manner, so the question mark is no more needed, okay, clear, very good. Now see what Mohit replied. He said that Mohit asked and said that he had already studied for the test the next day, right? The next day, the following day, these are all tomorrow, right? If you see tomorrow, then it will, in an indirect speech, that will what, that will transform into a the next day, right, or the following day, the next day or the following day, okay. Just try to remember this point, students. So see, okay, now what we're gonna see, okay, we have already covered these points, right, students? Okay, so these are the situations we have just now seen. These are the situations, right? Okay, so now it's a time for a question. Try to answer this question carefully, try to read the question carefully and answer it correctly, right? So okay, let me just read the question and then I'm gonna start the timer, right? So identify the appropriate indirect speech for the following sentence. So carefully, okay, carefully read the sentence. It's saying that identify the indirect speech, not the direct speech. So try. So let's see, the question is, I asked him, why are you working so hard? So The question was, I asked him, why are you working so hard? So there are four options. Let me start the timer now, and I'm going to read the options. A is, I asked him that why work hard. B, I asked him why work hard. C, I asked him why was he working so hard. And D, he asked me why I was working hard. So apart from the above four, which one will be the correct answer, students? This time is, you have 4 3, okay, 2 1 0. So the time is up, and the answer is what? You have already answered it correctly, and I'm so happy. Still, I'm gonna mark this answer so that you could see. So why? See, I asked him, right? This part is constant, right? In here also you can see this part is constant, right? So I asked him why was he, because it was asked, right? So asked changes into, it was ed form, right? It was past form. So it changed into are changed into was form. Okay, whenever you see a present tense, but in the subject part you see asked, said, okay, those are the verb you see, then immediately in the indirect speech it will transfer into a what, past form only, right? So you have seen ed form, so obviously the r will be removed by a past tense. So was, right? V1 form, V2 form, right? V2 form will be, we have to apply the V2 form. Why was he working so hard? Okay, I hope this was clear. These three sentences doesn't make any sense. Let's see that I asked him why, I asked him that why work hard. I don't, you don't think that this sentence is making any sense, because you do not see any verb, any V2 form, right? You do not see any, this are changed into what, was. But do you see was in the first sentences? No, right? Did you see was in the second sentences? No, the same only, right? Here that is also not there, and was is also not there, right? But here you see that was is here, and what, that we don't need here, because what, these sentences was already in the question form, right? So we don't need that here. We only need the first question, the main why we will transfer into the first frame. Like after I asked him why was he, we will not use I asked him that why was he. Okay, we will directly jump into why. We, in this sentence we don't need that. Okay. Okay, now let's see what comes next. Okay, now let's recall the rules for changing direct speech into a reported speech, right? So now we're gonna see some rules. In our previous classes, we have also covered the various rules for narrations, right? In the earlier two classes, but here we're gonna recall those. So let's see. Omit all the quotation mark and end the sentence with a full stop. Whenever you see any quotation mark, that means that was in a direct speech, right? And whenever we will transfer into an indirect speech, that quotation will be removed, and we will end with full stop. We will end with full stop. Clear? Okay. Now what else are the rules? Let's check. Direct speech and indirect speech. So we're gonna make two columns and we're gonna see with examples. Okay, now see here written, she said I am tired, right? In the indirect speech she said that I am tired. Now we have to remove what? By rules we have to remove quotation marks. So how we are going to use? She said that. In a reported, in a indirect, that will come, right? If we remove the quotation, then immediately that will occur. So she said that she, V2 form, it was present tense, it is past tense, because here it was written said, and here, so that's the reason it changed into was. Clear? If instead of said it was written says, then it would remain the same. Okay, it would remain the same. But if it's written that she says I am tired, right? If this was the sentence, then let's see what would be the indirect form of it. Then it would be, she says that what? She says that she is tired. She is tired. Why is? Because it's present. It's present, right? It's present tense. She is tired. Clear now? Did you see the difference? Did you see the difference? It's written said, B2 form. That's the reason. Here we can see was. And here it's a present tense because says, is, are, it all comes under present tense. So says in the says what? Says transfer into is because is and says is present tense. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Like am changes into is because am is also present tense. So when we convert into a indirect speech, am changes into is. Remember. Okay. Okay. So we all know with I we use am singular, and with he, she, it we use what? Is form, right? Is a present tense. Okay. Let's move to the next rule. The tense of the direct speech will be changed into its corresponding tense in the reported speech. Let's see with the example. Okay. Now see, she said, I like to read. Right. Now let's see. She said that she liked to read. It's just the tense has been changed. Right. Tense is changed. She said, then we all know that will be included here. She liked, we use ed. Right. Liked the book because here it said past tense. So we have to change the verb. Like to liked. From like to we have to change to liked. Liked because it's past tense. It's not present tense. Clear, students? I hope this is clear. Present tense. Okay, it's simple present. Yeah, this is the point. It's simple present and it changes into simple past. We have just changed the verb. Okay, we have just changed the verb and it's done. Now this is another sentence. Andrew said, I am coming over. Now he said, Andrew, now this sentence says, Andrew said, I am coming over. Next, let's see what's the indirect speech of it. Andrew said that. Okay, that he was coming over. That we have to use that. We all know whenever we will omit the quotation, we have to insert a that, right? So we have to say that Andrew said that he is talking about he was coming over. Why was? Because it's what? Past tense, right? Said. Here you see said. Whenever you see said, you have to immediately what? You have to immediately convert the verb into a past form because said, was, it was all past tense. And if instead of said it was written says, then it would remain same. It would be in he is coming over. Okay, understood the difference? Okay, let's move. So it's called present continuous. Coming over, ing. Whenever you see ing in a sentence, in a verb, it means that what? Coming over, showing, running. It's all past, what? Present continuous form, right? Okay, now see what will convert into past continuous. It was present continuous that I am coming over, and it will change into he was coming over. The coming ing will remain the same. We will not change ing into any other form of verb. We have to keep the ing constant because it was present continuous tense. In present or in past, the work was going over, the work was in progress, so it's not stopped, right? So we will not change ing form into any of the tenses. We have to change the verb only. Okay, we have to change the verb only. Okay, let's see. Now the third rule, it's written, if the reporting verb is in present tense, then there is no change in the reported speech. Let's see with the example. I am happy. It's written simple. It's written he says. Now it's what? It's present tense. See, it's present. The verb. This is a verb, right? This is in present tense. So we will not change anything, right? Then there is no change in the reported speech. Okay, so try to remember these rules. We have to apply these rules only, so that we will get the correct answer. So in the rule only it's written clearly that if the reported verb is in present tense, we have seen only the reported verb is in present tense, so we will not change the reported speech. So he says that he is happy. Here we will not use was or were, anything like that. It's just a simple, we have just changed into I am. This is a present only, and with he she we use is. This is also a simple only, so simple tense only. So see, we have followed the rule, and we have also what, convert it into indirect speech correctly. Okay, so follow the rules so that you will be able to convert in a correct way. Okay, now see the third rule. If the reporting verb is in past tense, see the difference. If the reported verb is in past tense, then the reported speech will also change in past tense. Okay, if you already see the past tense, we have to change the reported speech into a past form only. Let's see with the example. They said we are reading books. They said we are reading books. Now see the indirect speech. They said that. Okay, we have to include that in an indirect speech, we all know. So the she said that, they said that they were reading books. So we will convert into they, and are will convert into where, right? Are will convert into where, because it's said, it's in past tense. It's not says, it's said, so we have to change accordingly. Then they will, we will convert into they, and single form will to convert into the plural form, and where, are will convert into where. This is where is past tense, right? And are was present tense, so we have to convert because the verb is in past tense. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's see what's the fourth rule. If said to is used in the reported verb, this is reported verb, and if here it's written said to, now what will happen? We have to convert. Earlier it was said. We have seen so many sentences with said. Now if you see said to, so how we will convert from said to, what we will see, we have to then change into told. Whenever you see said to in the direct form, we have to change into told in the indirect speech. Okay, let's see with the example. See, it's highlighted in red. We have to remember this point carefully. Now see in the examples, in the direct speech, what it's written. Aryan said to me, I will play cricket in the evening. Now how we will convert into indirect speech? Aryan told me. Said to will change into told, right? So Aryan told me that. We have to include that because we are omitting the quotation mark. That he would, I will change into he would. Okay, he would play cricket in the evening. Will convert into would, because what? Because it was said, because it was past tense. So will, what's the past form of will? Would, right? V2 form is would. Okay, so I hope this is clear, and this is very simple. Just follow the rules, and you have, and just follow the rules, and you can convert easily. Now, what's the next rule? When a universal statement is stated in indirect speech, the tense in the reported speech will not change. Now, universal sentences. What are universal sentences? Let's see. Water is transparent, sky is blue, the hair is black in color. So these are some universal statements that cannot be changed, right? Even though it's said in the past tense, even though it's written said. still we will not change that into a past V2 form. We will not say that water was transparent, because it's universal. It's still now transparent, right? Like, can you even imagine that water could never, like, can you say that water was transparent? Now also water is transparent only, right? And in the coming years also water will remain in transparent form only. So how we can say that water was transparent? Because that doesn't make any sense, right? So we will not touch universal statement. Okay, we have to keep the universal statement constant. We can just add that reported word. We can just say that she said that water is transparent. We have to just make it that simple. Okay, clear, students? Very good. Now see. Okay, now comes a question. So try to answer this question carefully. Take out your writing devices and answer the question carefully. So let's read the question for you guys. Identify the appropriate indirect speech for the following sentence. Right? Have you seen that? You have to check the indirect speech, not the direct form. So he says, because direct is already given, right? You see the quotation, you see the comma, this is already in the direct form only. So we have to obviously find out the correct indirect speech. Okay, he says, I don't want to play anymore. So let's let's start the timer, and the time is running out. I'm gonna read out the options. So option number A, he says that he doesn't want to play anymore. Option B, he said that he didn't want to play anymore. Option C, he said he doesn't want to play anymore. Option D, he says that he didn't want to play anymore. Now what's the answer, students? What's the answer? 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Now, you see, you have already answered this correctly. Still now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to tick the correct answer. The answer is A. He says that he doesn't want to play anymore. Right? So, let's see how the other are incorrect. So, he says that. Right? The says, we don't change the what, this form, we have to remain it constant. So here you see it's changed into said. So we will touch the this part and quotation, right? We have to keep this part constant. We have to just change the inner part. Within the quotation only we have to change the forms, and outside the quotation we have to remain the statement like same only. We are not allowed to change anything. So we are cancelling option B and C, because we see it's written said. We don't need said. We have to keep the verb in the same form only. Now in these two, what's the difference? He says that he doesn't want to play anymore, and here it's written he says that he did not want to play anymore. So we all know did is the past form, and we see that here the verb is in present tense. So why we will use did? Because did is in past tense, so we will use the present form. So what's the present form of do? Obviously is does. So that's the reason the A is the correct answer. So he says that he doesn't, see, do, don't changed into doesn't in the, and this is in present tense, doesn't want to play anymore. Clear? Okay, very good, students. Let's move to our next topic. Okay, this is direct speech, right? Direct speech, this is indirect speech. So we see some sentences here. Sunita said, I am washing some dishes in the kitchen. The second sentence, Jamini said, I am going to Delhi tomorrow. Chirang said, I will read a book. Now let's change the three sentences into a indirect speech. So what will be the first one? Sunita said, okay, said that she was washing some dishes in the kitchen. Why was? Because It's written said, right? It's written said. So we will remove the quotation mark, we will insert that, and then we're gonna change the verb. The verb was am, that is in present tense. So we're gonna change into V2 form, that is past tense. So am changes into was, right? Because the sentence started with said, that was in past tense. So we will also change the verb into past tense. So am changes into was. Clear? Crystal clear? Okay, let's move to our next sentence. Jamini said, I am going to Delhi tomorrow. So what would be the indirect speech? Jamini said that she was going to Delhi the next day. Jamini said is constant, right? And it was in said. So obviously the am will change into what? Was form, right? So that's the reason it's written that she was going to Delhi the next day. That's simple, right? We have to insert that and we have to change the verb according to the what? According to the direct verb, right? According to the direct speech का जो verb है, accordingly we have to change. Okay, let's move to the next sentence. Chirag said, I will read a book. This is in direct speech. Let's see into indirect speech what will happen. Chirag said that he would read a book. Right? It was written said, so obviously the said it's in past tense, right? So the will change into what? Past form. So we all know the past form of will is would. So that's the reason it's written Chirag said that he would read a book. Clear? Okay, let's move to the next topic. Now students, time to answer a question time. And the question is, let me read out the question for you guys. Change the speech of the following sentence. He told her, I want to meet your father. So let's start the timer and I'm gonna read out the options. A is, he told her that I want to meet her father. B, he told her that he wanted to meet her father. C, he told her that he wanted to meet your father. D, he told her that he wanted to meet my father. So, which one will be the correct answer, students? Try to answer this carefully and correctly. 3, 2, 1, 0. Time is up. And the answer is what? And the answer is B. Okay, and the answer is B. So how B? Let's find out. How B? He told her. Then after that what will happen? We will remove the quotation and we will insert that word, right? So he told her that, like that is included, that he wanted to meet her father. Your father will change into her father because he was talking to her. So that's the reason your father will change into her father, and I wanted to meet will change into he wanted to meet. Okay, why wanted? Why ed form is added? Because told is in past tense. So that's the reason we will add past form into this verb. Okay, understood? If it was written he tell her, then we will keep the sentence as the same. We can use that he tell her that he want to meet her father. But here it's written told, it's in past tense. So we will add ed into the verb. Clear? Okay. Let's move to the next topic. Okay, now it's time to practice. So rewrite the following passage for changing the form of speech. So this is a passage, okay? So you have to rewrite the following passage, changing the form of speech. So you have seen that these are all kind of direct speech, right? But we have to change into indirect form. So let's see how we will change. Let's first see the passage. Will you come to my house tomorrow? I asked the boy. We will discuss terms and conditions then. I said, I shall be very happy to meet you at your house. Thank you so much, he replied. Let's see how we will change the sentences or this passage. So, I asked the boy if he could go to my house the next day. So this was the first sentence. So let's see. I asked, see, this come in the first. I asked the boy. Okay. So as this is a question mark, so we will not use that. Instead of it, we have to use if. If he could. If he could, see, will changes into would because it's past tense. It's written asked. It's not ask. It's asked means it's in past tense. So we have to change will into would. Right. So we all know will past tense is would. So would so if he could go to my house the next day. Tomorrow changes into the next day. Next, I also added that. Okay. I also added that what? I also added that we would discuss terms and condition that. So the next sentence was we can discuss terms and condition that I said. Okay. So how we will change this sentence? Here you do not see any similar sentence like likewise we have previously did. It's a new sentence. So how we will say I also added. So it's the same sentence only. He is only adding one extra line. So he said that I also added that he could discuss terms and condition then. Okay. So this is simple only, just you have to read it carefully, then you can understand. So the next sentence, I shall be very happy to meet you at my house. Thank you so much, he replied. So how will change this line? He replied that, because you can see he reply is already here. So we'll start the sentence from the last. He replied, after that what? That, right? We all know we have to add that. So he replied that he would be happy. Okay, would, why would? Because it was written shall be. So we all know shall is, we can use shall with I, right? But we have to, because I is singular form. But in the would form, like we use would. We use what? We use would. Okay. I is singular. So with I you have to use. We can use shall, but with we we have to use would. Okay. Remember these points. So that's the reason shall be changed into would be. Okay, and it's in the past tense because it's replied, not reply. Reply is present tense and replied, ed. So it's in past tense. So we have changed the verb into a past form. So shall be changed into would be because it's changed into second form. He, it's not I anymore. We all know we can use shall with I, but he, she, she, it, we have to use would, right? So that's the reason we have used would in these sentences. I hope this is clear now. So time for another question, students. So change the speech of the following sentence. She said to me, can you give me your pen? A, she asked me if I can give my pen. B, she asked me if I can give her your pen. C, she asked me if I could give her my pen. D, she asked me if you could give her my pen. So what would be the option from the above four? Let's start the timer and try to answer this carefully, students. So this is in direct speech, right? So we have to choose the correct indirect speech. So I'm gonna again read out the question for you guys. She said to me, can you give me your pen? What would be the answer, students? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The time is up and the answer is C. She asked me if I could give her my pen. Can changed into could and me, then it's question mark. So we cannot use that. We have to use if, right? If I could give her my pen. Clear, students? Okay. So now students, this is another question, and try to answer this question. Change the speech of the following sentence. Rahul asked me, did you watch the match yesterday? What would be the answer? A is Rahul asked me if I had watched the match the day before. B, Rahul told me if I had seen the match. And C, I asked Rahul if he saw the match. And D, Rahul asked me if I have seen the match. So what would be the answer, students? The time is running up, and the answer is what? And the answer is A. Very good. Because Rahul asked me question mark, so we have to use if I had. Did is a past tense, so we have to use had. And watch changed into ed form because it's in past. Here you can check if it's in present or past. Okay. So if I had watched the match the next day. Okay, if I have watched the match the day before, sorry. So yesterday changed into the day before. Clear? So students, I hope you have enjoyed this class, and if you did, do let me know. And I'm gonna see you. Okay, let's start this timer so that I could know if you have liked the session. So how do you feel? A is very happy, B is quite happy, C is satisfied, and D is confused. Let me know and help me with the options so that I could know your opinion on it. So students, we're gonna see you with our next class. Till then, try to recall the rules. Okay, thank you so much.